Hello and welcome to Sunday's Football Review. This was a night packed with age. In North London, Arsenal FC played against Chelsea in a heated derby clash to strengthen the top of the table. At Old Trafford, Man United battled against Crystal Palace to reach the top three in the Premier League, while Fulham faced Tottenham Hotspur, in which Tottenham Hotspur are struggling to fight relegation. And in Serie A, AS Roma and Juventus played out a dramatic game. And at the end, in the Seville derby between Real Betis and Sevilla, which delivered firework of a performance. Let's dive into the analysis. Full-time score in between Arsenal and Chelsea in the London derby, Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Arsenal stored their 5-point lead at the top of the Premier League as they ground out a 2-1 win over a 10-man Chelsea. Jurgen Timber's 66th-minute header proved decisive at the Emirates Stadium, where all three goals came from corners. Arsenal went ahead in the 21st minute with Gabriel Magalhaes meeting Bukayo Saka's corner to set up his fellow centre-back William Saliba, whose header found the net via a deflection from Mamadou Sarr. Chelsea caused Arsenal problems of their own from corners, and after David Raya had made a superb save to deny Joro Hato, who was being held by Declan Rice, Piero Hincapié scored an own goal to restore parity on the stroke of halftime. Joao Pedro saw a penalty appeal turned down and had a header saved on the line. But Arsenal's set-piece proficiency came to the fore again when Rice dropped an inch-perfect delivery onto Timber with Robert Sanchez in no man's land. Pedro Neto was booked for dissent in the aftermath of Timber's goal, and he saw red less than 3 minutes later when he scythed down Gabriel Martinelli. Raya had to come up big late on, parrying wide Alejandro Garnacho's cross, and though Liam Delap had the ball in the net deep in stoppage time, Joao Pedro has drifted offside in the build-up. It's no secret that Arsenal are the best team in Europe on set pieces, and this game was all about dead ball situations. Arsenal's 16 goals from corners in the Premier League this season is a joint most by any side in a single campaign, alongside Oldham in 1992-93, West Brom in 2016-17, and the Gunners themselves in 2023-24. Mikel Arteta's team has now scored a match-winning goal from a corner in 9 Premier League games this season, which is the outright most by a team in a single campaign, which is overtaking Manchester United's 8 in 2012-2013 season. In fact, there have now been more goals scored from corners in the Premier League this season, which is 138 in 281 games, than the whole of last term, which is 135 in 380 games. With set pieces playing such a key role, it's no surprise to see a relatively low expected goals tally for this contest, with Arsenal's 1.12 XG just edging out Chelsea's 105. Once again, full-time score, Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Full-time score at Old Trafford, Manchester United 2, Crystal Palace 1. Benjamin Šeško was a match winner again as Manchester United fought back to beat 10-man Crystal Palace 2-1 at Old Trafford, following Maxence Lacroix' red card. Lacroix put Palace ahead after just 4 minutes, outmuscling Lenny Yoro before superbly planting a header into the far post from Brennan Johnson's corner. United struggled to get going in the first half, with their best chance seeing Casemiro nod just wide of the bottom right corner, but the game changed early in the second period. Lacroix was caught too tight to Mateus Cunha and dragged the Brazilian down just inside the area. And after United were awarded a penalty, a VAR review made things even worse for Palace centre-back as he was dismissed for denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity. Bruno Fernandes made no mistake from the spot in the 57th minute, and the United captain turned provider for the winning goal 8 minutes later. His delivery from deep on the right flank was brilliantly headed into the bottom right corner by Šeško, who also netted the decisive goal against Everton at Hill Dickinson Stadium on Monday. Casemiro and Amad Diallo drew further saves from Henderson as United dominated the closing stages. But the Red Devils did not require a third goal as they cruised to victory. Michael Carrick remains unbeaten across his 2 spells as United's interim boss, and the victory takes his team to 3rd in the Premier League table, leapfrogging Aston Villa on goal difference. What started out as a dream day for Lacroix ended up something of a nightmare, as he became only the 2nd visiting player to score and be sent off in a Premier League game at Old Trafford, after Michael Owen for Liverpool in April 1998. Lacroix is just the 4th player to do so home and away for a club in the Premier League match, and the first since Christian Benteke against West Ham in December 2020. His dismissal promoted a United onslaught as Carrick's men finished 20 shots and 2.05 expected goals compared to Palace's 8 attempts and 0.38 xG. Only Brentford's Igor Thiago, who has 7, has scored more Premier League goals in 2026 than Šeško, who has 6, who had only scored twice in 15 appearances in the competition before the turn of the year. And United have avoided defeat in all 5 Premier League games when they have trailed in 2026, which is 2 wins and 3 draws. This is their longest unbeaten run in games, where they have fallen behind since a sequence of 5 straight wins from November 2020 to January 2021. Full-time score, once again, Man United 2, West Ham United 1. Full-time score, Fulham 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Tottenham remained stuck in the Premier League relegation trouble as they were beaten 2-1 by Fulham to consign Igor Tudor to a 2nd straight defeat. Alex Iwobi's stunner was decisive at Craven Cottage, where the home side took the lead with their first opportunity of Sunday's contest. A deflected cross from Oscar Bob fell to Harry Wilson in the 7th minute, and Welshman emphatically volleyed home from a close range. Spurs complained a foul in the build-up, believing that Raul Jimenez had pushed Dragushin, but the goal was confirmed by VAR. Tottenham struggled to gain a foothold and were under the cosh of large parts of the first half, with Kenny Tete striking an effort wide of the post, but Fulham's pressure told again when Iwobi brilliantly fired into the bottom left corner from distance. Fulham continued to dominate after the break and went close to a third, and Emil Smith-Rowe spurned 2 fine opportunities while Jimenez had a goal-bound effort blocked by Spurs captain Mickey van der Ven. Yet Spurs improved following a raft of substitutions, and one of those changes, Richarlison, dragged them back into with a fine header from Archie Gray's delicate left-wing cross. Pape Matar struck the side netting and Joao Palhinha had a shot blocked in the dying stages, but Fulham held on, meaning Spurs remain just 4 points above the drop zone. Fulham have now moved to 9th after their 2nd successive league win, and this victory completes a league double over Tottenham for just the 2nd time, having also achieved defeat in the 2003-2004 season. While Tottenham's season has reached a new low following this latest defeat, and they're now without a win in their last 10 Premier League matches, equaling their previous longest streak under Ossie Ardiles in the first 3 months of 1994. Once again, full-time score, Fulham 2, Tottenham 1. Full-time score in the Serie A fixture, Roma 3, Juventus 3. Federico Gatti came off the bench to rescue a point for Juventus as his 93rd minute equalizer and a 3-3 draw against top four rivals Roma at Stadio Olimpico. Juventus appeared set to fall 7 points behind Roma in Serie A after going 2 goals down, but substitutes Jeremy Boga and Gatti sealed a share of the spoils later on. Roma took the lead 6 minutes before halftime when Wesley cut inside from the left-hand side and bent a glorious effort past Mattia Perin into the top right corner. However, Juventus responded with a stunner of their own in the 47th minute, with Francisco Conceição flashing a first-time strike into the roof of the net from the edge of the box. Roma restored their lead just 7 minutes later, though, as a short corner routine ended with Lorenzo Pellegrini's cross being volleyed in by an unmarked Evan Ndika. The informed Daniel Malen then got in on the act with a dinked 65-minute finish, but Boga halved the deficit after Zeki Shelik failed to deal with a cross. And just 5 minutes after coming on, Gatti smashed in the leveler from close range as he reacted quicker to Edon Djergova's free kick, which has caused confusion in the Roma box. Roma may feel like they have done enough to seal all 3 points, having registered unexpected goals or XG total of 1.65 from their 11 attempts to Juventus 1.39 from their 13 shots in the contest. But their defensive fragility came back to bite them. Once again, full-time score, Roma 3, Juventus 3. Full-time score in La Liga, Derby Sevillano, Real Betis 2, Sevilla 2. Anthony scores, but Real Betis let rival Sevilla snatch a draw in the La Liga. In the Estadio La Cartuja, at 16 minutes of the first half, after a play down the left, Anthony picked up the rebound inside the 6-yard box and with his back to the goal, showed skill to score. And at 37th minute, Alvaro Fidalgo received from Ezalzuli and finished with a shot against the goalkeeper's movement. Sevilla responded in the second half. At 17 minutes, Alexis Sanchez headed in to reduce the deficit. Near the end of the match, at 40 minutes, Isaac Romero equalized with a powerful shot into the goalkeeper's right corner. With 43 points, Real Betis occupies 5th place in the Spanish Championship. Sevilla, with 30 points, sits in 11th position on the table. Full-time score once again in the Seville derby, Real Betis 2, Sevilla 2. And that's how Sunday night's football has unfolded. Tight battles, derby tension, and goals flying in till the very end. If this is a sign of us coming, then we're in for something special. But till then, see you on Tuesday. But as of now, take care.